Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Yes. Duanmu Shang was not as reserved as his eldest senior brother and second senior brother, he was more straightforward. He raised his overlord spear and looked at his master who was standing 10 meters away. He had an illusion his master would kill him with one spear strike, but his rationality and instinct told him his master would not do that. Whoosh. 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 Duanmu Shang raised his spear and charged forward. Then, he began to thrust his spear. Zhou retreated step by step, dodging the overlord's spear. He was always able to dodge Duanmu Shang's spear at the right time. This was thanks to the effect of his fourth birth chart that improved his speed and gave him a clearer understanding of his movements. Duanmu Shang, naturally, did not think he would be able to defeat his master. As long as he was not too quickly defeated by his master, it would be considered a success. Therefore, he brandished the overlord spear with all his might, hoping to last longer. When Zhou sparred with his disciples, he would not make a move in the beginning. He would dodge while he observed their skills from all angles. Duanmu Shang was no exception. Zhenghai was quite well-rounded, but he had a little too many unnecessary movements. Shangrong's speed was better and his movements were neater, but he only attacked and did not defend. Duanmu Shang was overbearing and fierce, but he knew when to advance and when to retreat. The four elders clicked their tongues in amazement as they watched. Pan Litian said, if he continues practicing like that, it won't be long before he defeats Elder Hua. Duanmu Shang's spear techniques have their unique characteristics. His advances are sharp, and his retreats are fast. He seems as immovable as a mountain and as fast as lightning. I really don't see anything that needs improvement, Yushu commented. Let's continue watching. Duanmu Shang's spear techniques grew more and more formidable. His energy spears became more powerful as well. 1,000 waves. The 1,000 waves was like a huge wave of energy spears. It covered a wide range and was difficult to defend against. Zhou unleashed his grand technique and arrived behind Duanmu Shang in just a blink of an eye. Then, he struck with his palm. Bang! Duanmu Shang hurriedly leaped up. Pavilion Master is making his move now. The eyes of the four elders brightened as though they had been waiting for this moment all this while. Zhou followed closely behind Duanmu Shang and struck again. Bang! The palm seal landed on the ground as Duanmu Shang deflected it with his energy spears. Bang! 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 At this time, Zhou caught the overlord spear between two fingers and casually struck Duanmu Shang 3 times on the chest. Zhenghai and Shangrong averted their eyes. They suddenly felt much better. Duanmu Shang continued to suffer a one-sided beating from his master. The sound of palm strikes rang in the air continuously. Pan Litian would shudder and shrank back from time to time as he watched. It was as though he was suffering the beating instead of Duanmu Shang. At this moment, Mang Changdong who was passing by heard the commotion near the preservation hall. Curious, he walked to the hall. After he saw what was happening, he could not help but ask the elders, what's the pavilion master doing? Teaching his disciple. Are you sure he's not just beating his disciples? I have my suspicions as well, but do we have any evidence? Pan Litian replied. The other 3 elders shook their heads repeatedly. No, Mang Changdong replied. After some time had passed. Clank! The overlord spear fell to the ground. Duanmu Shang was bent over the ground. His face was swollen, and he was panting heavily. Zhou stood across from Duanmu Shang and watched him with a calm expression before he said, your spear technique has reached perfection. In the future, focus more on your cultivation method. Leave the overlord spear here, and come back for it tomorrow morning. He still had a shining stone left, there was no need to save it. Moreover, the effect of the Great Void Seed on Duanmu Shang was not very good. This problem had to be solved. Duanmu Shang gasped for breath before he said, understood. Ding. Educated Duanmu Shang. Reward, 500 merit points. Lu Zhou nodded and turned around to enter the preservation hall. All of a sudden, he halted his footstep and turned around to say, "Summon Old Fourth here tomorrow." As soon as Lu Zhou finished speaking, he received a notification. Ding. Educated Ming Shirin. Reward, 200 points. How cunning, Lu Zhou said in a deep voice, "If he doesn't come, break his legs." Ding. Educated Ming Shirin. Reward, 200 points. After saying that, Lu Zhou entered the preservation hall in a flash. Following that, the Overlord's spear that was lying on the ground thrummed and buzzed before it shot inside the hall. Bang. The door to the hall closed with a bang. At this moment, Duanmu Sheng sat limply on the ground. Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shangrong gave Duanmu Sheng a thumbs up at the same time. "You're amazing." This was one of the rare occasions where the duo saw eye to eye. Meanwhile, the four elders sighed. Pan Litian asked, "Guardian Meng, elders, Luo Shirin aside, who do you think will sprout the 10th leaf first?" Everyone thought about the question seriously. However, after a long time, they only shook their heads. This was a very difficult question to answer. The first and the second disciple had been improving swiftly. No one knew the true strength of the fourth disciple. The ninth disciple had always been very talented and did not need to be beaten up to improve. It was hard to say who would be able to sprout the 10th leaf first. Over the next 6 months, Lu Zhou only did 3 things: educate his disciples, keep an eye on Zhao Yu, and stabilize the foundation of his fourth birth chart. In fact, rather than saying he was educating his disciples, it was more like he was beating his disciples. In the last 6 months, apart from Little Yuan and Conk, his other disciples were all beaten black and blue. With the effects of Mentor and Eternal Paragon, his disciples had progressed rapidly. Duanmu Sheng and Little Yuan successfully sprouted the 9th leaf. Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shangrong could have sprouted the 10th leaf, but due to the master's advice, they suppressed their cultivation base. They needed to investigate the points of the stone formations first and make sure the birth chart beasts that would undoubtedly appear when they sprouted their 10th leaf would not be snatched away by the Black Tower Council. At this time, everyone in the royal court knew about Lu Zhou educating and training his disciples and had gotten used to the brutality of the training. When Li Yunzheng heard of his teacher training with his grandmaster, he went to have a look twice. It was so terrifying that it left a shadow on him. At that time, he was really glad Si Wuya was his teacher. With Si Wuya's help, his cultivation had been going rather well. It took him a month to temper his body before he entered the mystic and lightning realm. However, his first priority was to govern Great Tang, and he only cultivated as a means of support. Therefore, he spent most of his time on political affairs. With the support from the 4 Grand Dukes and the civil and military officials, Great Tang became more stable as well. During this time, Si Wuya was undoubtedly the busiest person. Apart from cultivating and teaching Li Yunzheng, he would hang out with those people from the Sky Research Court and study random things. In the end, even the geniuses from the Sky Research Court were convinced of his ability. On the other hand, Sikong Beichen, the temple master of the 9th temple, and Mia Qingyun, the sect master of the 12 sects of Cloud Mountain, put the past behind them and were friendly with each other. After bidding farewell to Lu Zhou, they returned to their respective sections. Before they left, they promised Lu Zhou to rush over as long as Lu Zhou needed them. Meanwhile, Xia Changqiu, the monastery master of the Thousand Willows Monastery, was very aware of his capabilities. Therefore, he did not return to the Thousand Willows Monastery and stayed in the palace to curry favors. After all, as long as he stayed with Lu Zhou, the Thousand Willows Monastery would be safe. In the evening, after cultivating, Lu Zhou opened the system interface to check his merit points. Merit points, 125,500. Half of the merit points were gained from teaching his disciples in the last 6 months. They were really like trump cards. Although the merit points were not a lot, it was not little either. After a while, he wondered to himself, the blackguards didn't appear at all, are they afraid of me? In the past 6 months, everything seemed normal. Nothing out of the ordinary had happened. Even that mysterious woman, Lian Xing, did not go to Zhao Yu again. How long will this peace last? It should be about time for the first 10-leaf cultivator to appear in the Golden Lotus domain. Should we break the balance by starting with the Red Lotus domain or the Golden Lotus domain? This was an important matter. He had discussed this matter with Wuya. The new 10-leaf cultivator in the Golden Lotus domain would be a wild card. They might be easily manipulated by the Black Lotus domain into implementing the captive breeding plan. On the other hand, the Red Lotus domain was in a delicate situation now. Ever since the incidents with Lu Li and Yi Yao, the Black Tower Council did not make any move at all. It seemed like the forces hiding in the dark were waiting for the balance to break. With these thoughts in mind, Zhou called out, "Someone, summon Wuya here." Someone outside the hall replied, "Understood." About 15 minutes later, Wuya arrived at the preservation hall. He asked, "Master, were you looking for me?" "How are your injuries?" Zhou asked. "Thank you for your concern, Master. They're not serious." "That's good, I've never been heavy-handed when I attack," Zhou said with a straight face. Wuya. You're aware of the situation with the Black Lotus domain. In the past 6 months, there's been no sign of the Black Guards at all. Currently, your senior brothers are waiting to sprout the 10th leaf. However, if they do that, they'll definitely attract the birth chart beasts. In your opinion, what should we do to get out of this stalemate? Wuya replied, "In this half a year, there's a possibility that there are others in the Red Lotus domain who have sprouted the 10th leaf. If that's the case, the birth chart beasts they attracted have probably been taken by the Black Tower Council. Therefore, there won't be any conflict. To get out of this stalemate, someone from the Evil Sky Pavilion needs to sprout the 10th leaf. After all, we won't give up and let the Black Tower Council easily snatch the life heart." Wuya paused for a moment as he brought the map of the points of the stone formations before he continued to say, "In fact, it's better if the Black Guards don't show up. I've joined the Sky Research Court to study formations to deceive them. We can pick the nearest stone formation and use the deceptive formation over the original formation so that it won't be able to transmit information back to the Black Tower Council. At that time, whichever member from the Evil Sky Pavilion can sprout the 10th leaf while Master takes down the birth chart beasts." Was this the meaning of keeping a low profile, not acting recklessly, and not showing off? Zhou looked at Wuya in admiration. It was really different when one was intelligent. After a beat, Zhou asked, "Can we avoid the stone formation in the forest completely?" Wuya smiled. "There's a risk in avoiding it. After all, it'll expose the presence of the birth chart beasts. It's best to stay next to the stone formation." Zhou had to admit that Wuya's ideas really won over his heart. After a brief moment, he asked again, "Both of your eldest and second senior brothers are capable of sprouting the 10th leaf. Who do you think it's more suitable to be the first one to sprout the 10th leaf?" "Both of them should sprout the 10th leaf together," Wuya replied. Since we already have a plan, we should carry it out thoroughly. It'd be difficult for us to control the 10-leaf cultivator in the Golden Lotus domain when we're here. Therefore, we should just try our best to take down or control the birth chart beasts in the Red Lotus domain. Whether it's the Golden Lotus domain, the Red Lotus domain, or the Black Lotus domain, ultimately, this is just a struggle over the life hearts of birth chart beasts," Wuya said. "Continue," Zhou said. Wuya pointed at a point on the map and said, "The Eastern Forest Mountain isn't far from the capital, so we should capture the birth chart beasts there." Zhou briefly mulled over Wuya's words before he said, "Very good. You can start making preparations for this matter. We'll set off tomorrow." "Yes, Master." After replying to Zhou, Wuya recalled something and said, "Master, I've discovered some clues regarding senior sister Zhao Yu's matter." "Speak." "I suspect that someone approached senior sister Zhao Yu and suppressed her cultivation base, causing her cultivation to stagnate," Wuya said. Zhou stroked his beard and nodded. "Did you find out the culprit's identity?" "A woman named Lian Xing," Wuya said. "I found out about this when I contacted senior sister Zhao Yu last month." Zhou could not tell Wuya that he was aware of these matters, so he just nodded and said expressionlessly, "Continue to keep an eye on her." "Yes." "How's Di Zhang's performance recently?" Lu Zhou asked. Si Wuya replied confidently, I've made it acknowledge me. Lu Zhou brought Di Zhang's life heart out and tossed it Si Wuya as he said, return this life heart to him. When there's a need, I might have to use Di Jiang. Zhao Yu was far away in the Golden Lotus domain. If there was a need for Lu Zhou to return, he could only have Di Jiang whose speed was the fastest carry him back. Master, Si Wuya's eyes widened imperceptibly when he caught the life heart. He had read Zhenghai's book so he knew what the life heart meant. How could he not be surprised that his master gave up 1,000 years of life for Di Jiang? Lu Zhou did not comment on the matter. He only said, go. Si Wuya held the life heart with both hands and said respectfully, yes, master. You should rest early as well. After leaving the preservation hall, it was already dark when Si Wuya returned to his residence. He called out as soon as he arrived, Di Jiang. Quack. Di Jiang quacked like a duck as it obediently ran out from a corner. Master is benevolent. He gave up 1,000 years of life just to spare your life heart. I'll return this to you, Si Wuya said as he tossed the life heart to Di Jiang. Squawk. Di Jing opened its mouth and swallowed the life heart. The life heart moved in its abdomen for a moment before it returned to its original position in its body. Quack. 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 Following that, Di Jiang seemed to be prostrating itself on the ground to express its gratitude. At the same time, its energy was changing. With the return of its life heart, it meant he had regained his ability to fly. You're a birth chart beast so you can't show off like before. This is a pill especially made for you by the Sky Research Court to hide your life heart, Si Wuya said before he brought a pill out. Quack. Di Jiang quacked and shook its head from side to side, showing its reluctance to eat the pill. Si Wuya said with a smile, either you eat it or you spit out half of your life heart. Otherwise, it'd be just a matter of time before you're taken away and killed. Di Jiang was terrified by Si Wuya's words. It hastily ate the pill. Then, it flapped its wings and circled around the residence a few times before it landed on the ground again. Si Wuya nodded in satisfaction. Then, he touched the bruises on his face and said, sleep early today. Don't disturb me. It's been half a year, it's about time I get a good night's sleep. Master still as heavy-handed as he was in the past. The next day. The Sky Shuttle left the Royal Palace for the Eastern Forest Mountain. The Sky Shuttle's speed was fast so it took less than an hour before it slowly landed next to the Stone Forest Formation in the Eastern Forest Mountain. The 4 elders and Guardian Mang of the Evil Sky Pavilion leaped out of the Sky Shuttle together. Master, this is the place, Si Wuya said. Lu Zhou looked down at the Stone Forest Formation. It was the same as the one where he first met Zhenghai. Yu Shangrong also noticed the resemblance of this stone forest formation to the one he had broken previously. Indeed. It's the same. Following that, the others alighted from the Sky Shuttle. Lu Zhou said, Si Wuya, set up the formation with the Sky Research Courts Hezhong and Huangyu. Understood. Si Wuya led Hezhong and Huangyu toward the Stone Forest Formation. As for the rest of you, keep a lookout on things. Report to me immediately if you discover anything out of the ordinary, Lu Zhou calmly instructed the others. Understood. Subsequently, everyone left in different directions, surrounding the Stone Forest Formation. About an hour later, Si Wuya returned. He said, Master, we've already set up the formation. Lu Zhou did not reply immediately. Instead, he stroked his beard and looked around the Eastern Forest Mountain. He wondered where the birth chart beasts came from again. The Eastern Forest Mountain was far from the endless ocean, so where did they come from? Where was the unknown land or the great void? After a moment, he collected his thoughts and nodded. All right. After that, Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shangrong made their way to the Stone Forest Formation before they manifested their avatars. Both avatars were in their miniature size. The difference was one had a lotus while the other did not. After that, the duo began to sprout the 10th leaf. In fact, the 9-leaf stage was just a transition point to the 10-leaf stage. If the Black Lotus domain did not monopolize the birth chart beasts, no one would stay long at the 9-leaf stage. After reaching the 10-leaf stage, one would attract birth chart beasts. If one was strong enough or had the support of a strong sect, one would be able to kill birth chart beasts like how Zhou killed the Yong on Cloud Mountain. Once the 10-leaf stage had stabilized, one would be able to use the life heart to activate one's birth chart. It felt like the heavens were playing with the people, making people from different domains compete over life hearts of birth chart beasts. I want to see where these birth chart beasts come from. With this thought in mind, Zhou flashed to the top of a towering tree and looked around the eastern forest mountain. Where were the fierce beasts hiding? From which hole did they fly out? Zhou flashed again from the west to the east. He stood on a rock and observed Mingxian, who was riding Qiongqi. Since he had the purple glazed ceramic with him, it was difficult for others to discover his presence. After confirming there was nothing unusual, he flashed in the northern direction. After that, Zhou flashed to the south before he finally returned to the stone forest formation. Little Yuan, Conk, Xia Chengqiu, and the others looked around vigilantly. Nothing was out of the ordinary. Zhou's gaze fell on Zhenghai and Shongrong, who were in the process of sprouting their 10th leaf. At this moment, they were at the critical part of the leaf sprouting process.